There we go. Hey, hey, how y'all doing out there? Perry Jeffries here on this beautiful, beautiful day here in Columbus, Ohio. Clear day, sunny day, fall day here in October. When you tap in, let us know where you're tapping in here from, y'all. Let us know if you're calling in from, Ohio, Cali, Texas. Tap in. Let us know where you're tapping in here from. Love to hear from you for sure. We're going to give people here a couple moments to get tapped in and get on the call here. Want to make sure that folks aren't missing this valuable, valuable information. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. Comment, let us know where you're calling in here from. Excited about this call today because we're going to do some mind shifting today. We're going to do some transformation today. We're going to really dive into some foundational work today around how you think about your finances, right? Super important stuff here. All right, so let's jump into it, right? So with this episode, right, we're talking about the millionaire mindset and overcoming some of those financial limiting beliefs that I believe that all of us have dealt with at some point in time, and working with money and things of that nature. So some of those limiting beliefs. But before we get into it, we want to kind of level set here and talk about becoming a millionaire. So, like, what is stopping you from becoming a millionaire, right? And the question then begs, then, do you want to become a millionaire, right? So, if I were to, get in front of a room, and I've been in front of rooms of, hundreds of rooms of thousands, speaking, if you will, and whenever I ask the room, like, hey, who in this room wants to be wealthy, right? Everybody in the room typically raises their hand. And then I usually make a joke and say, hey, if you didn't raise your hand, you need to get out this room because, what I'm saying, this is the wrong room for you. But if I were to ask that question to you, right, who on this, this episode, who's watching this live stream wants to be wealthy? Or who in this live stream wants to be a millionaire? Now, we're going to break this down a little bit because I don't necessarily believe that you have to be a millionaire in order to truly experience wealth. But being a millionaire is a good starting point to say, hey, you're doing something right with your finances, right? So, again, not necessarily saying that being a millionaire equates to you being wealthy, but being a millionaire does start to give you options, right? And it starts to give you some level of financial independence and a great, great start to some financial freedom. Because ultimately, what we believe is that in order for you to be financially free, is not necessarily a function of whether or not you can say, hey, I'm a millionaire. Because you could be a millionaire on paper, but not have, $1 million in your bank account, right? You can live in a home that's, worth $1 million and doesn't have a mortgage on it, but not have any money in your bank account and be considered a paper millionaire. So I'm not necessarily saying that being a millionaire equates to being wealthy. What we consider being wealthy is when you have the time freedom to do the things that bring you joy and bring you fulfillment without having to base those decisions on whether or not your finances will allow you to do it, right? So that's what true wealth is to us, is time freedom to do the things that bring you fulfillment and allow you to leave impact on the world. And when your finances are in place and you have enough passive income coming in to be able to cover your living expenses, that's when you start to experience that freedom. Okay. So with that being said, as we start to kind of work our way through this, I like, kind of having the millionaire status as a great target, right? So if we shoot for that millionaire status, then from there we can really start to work our way into being financially independent, and also to, having financial freedom. But let's just jump right into this piece. So many people have a hard time getting their head wrapped around becoming a millionaire, right? And during one of our most recent 5-day financial boot camps, we asked the question like, hey, do you want to become a millionaire? And everybody like, yeah, I want to become a millionaire, right? But the question is, do you believe you deserve to be a millionaire? So let's jump into this whole piece real quick and really start to unpack, you know, this whole millionaire status and the purpose of becoming a millionaire. So if you do have a desire to become a millionaire, is your desire to become a millionaire just because you want to buy the new, new red bottoms or the Louis bag or rock the Gucci belt or, drive the fancy car, right? What is your reason to become a millionaire? Because unfortunately, so many of us have been conditioned to believe that, you know, those who are millionaires or multimillionaires are greedy people, that they've deceived somebody, that they've cheated somebody, that they've scammed somebody, right? We've been conditioned to believe that, these individuals who've accumulated these amounts of wealth are either very, very cheap and very stingy, or they've taken advantage of somebody, right? So the first limiting belief that we have to address is that piece right there, that there are millionaires, and I would venture to say more millionaires out there who have the biggest hearts, who are genuinely looking to give and impact the world and change their communities and help their families be involved in their churches and things of that nature, right? So let's first start here and let me ask you this question. If you were a millionaire, what would you do with your wealth? What would you do with that time freedom? So let's first start there, because one of the major roadblocks that people have with saying, "Hey, I want to become a millionaire," is being able to say, "Hey, I deserve to become a millionaire," right? Do you believe you deserve to be a millionaire? But then it goes into, well, why do you deserve to be a millionaire? So let's start there. Like, what would you do if you were a millionaire? So, if as you're watching this, you're listening to this live stream, watching this live stream, ask yourself that question. If you close your eyes now and open them back up and you were a millionaire, right? Multimillionaire, what would you be doing? How, and ask yourself that question. Would you just be, sitting on your piles of money and be like, "Ooh, I made it, and I hope hopefully one day y'all can get here," right? Right? Would you be sitting on an island by yourself, and would you be sitting, like, what would you be doing? Okay, because if you don't believe you deserve to be a millionaire, it's because you probably haven't got your head wrapped around that. If you had that type of wealth, if you had that type of financial freedom, how would you then look to impact the world? How would you look to be inspiration? How would you look to create real generational wealth, which isn't necessarily, hey, I passed down some assets and, I created generational wealth. True generational wealth is transportable in the sense of you have taught the skill sets to the next generation. You have passed on what the mindset should be to the next generation, where they not only know how to manage wealth, but they also know how to create wealth. And they also realize that the purpose of creating wealth is not for selfish reasons, but for them to help those individuals who are not in a position to help themselves. Right. So this is kind of one of the challenges that I find that people really have a problem getting their head wrapped around. It's like, man, I don't know if I deserve to be a millionaire. Well, ask yourself that question again. What would you do if you were a millionaire? How would you provide impact? How would you help change the world? How would you be a better person? Because if you've learned how to become a millionaire and you become a better steward of money, how could you then, become relevant to other individuals as well? Okay, so I know that's kind of heavy, and you're like, man, but I wanted to really know, Perry, like what to invest in and what stock, or how to buy real estate and whatnot. Well, before we can even start thinking about getting there, we got to first start unpacking some of these limiting beliefs that we have. All right. So next thing we kind of want to get into this piece is, in order for you to become a millionaire, right? You first have to figure out how to make money. Okay. So unless you're hitting the lottery, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's the way to make money. I ain't tripping, right? Right. But you have to figure out how to make money, because you have to figure out how to make money. Then you have to figure out how to make that money work for you. Like, really, there's no skipping steps in this whole piece. Okay. Unless you inherit money because somebody in your family hooked you up, you know what I'm saying? And they made you the beneficiary of some life insurance, or they passed down some land to you, or some property or a business or something to you, right? If you're starting from scratch, like many Americans are, but then you actually first have to figure out how to make money. Then you have to figure out what to do with those dollars, how to make that money, you know what I'm saying? How to turn that money into wealth so that you can become a millionaire, right? So let's first start with this piece. Here recently, I've been doing a deep dive into just mindset, right? After being in the industry 20 years, not a whole lot more that I haven't that I have to learn around just different investments, right? I have expertise in dealing with stocks and mutual funds and retirement plans and insurance products and things of that nature. And there's always changes and things of that nature. So I'm not saying I know everything. But what I started to realize is that for me to really leave impact is that I have to really start to do a deep dive into how people think about money. Right. So, in doing that deep dive into how people think about money, right? I've been following mentors like Myron Golden, joined one of his programs and got the opportunity to receive some mentorship and coaching from him. And one of the books that he recommended that we read was Killing Sacred Cows. So I started reading this book and have absolutely just loved the book. I've already listened to it on my Audible. I've already, purchased the book and started to been highlighting and things of that nature. And one of the major takeaways I got from this is this cause and effect with money. So here's the deal. There's a principle, right, that is undeniable, that everything in the world has a cause and effect relationship, right? You have a cause and then there's an effect, right? So let's talk about that cause and effect a little bit here, and then we're going to really get into really some tactical stuff with respects to this whole millionaire status, if you will. From a cause and effect standpoint, money is just simply the effect of the cause. And what is the cause? What is the thing that has to happen in order to receive money? Well, what that thing that has to happen is it has to be some type of value created, right? All of us if you have a job, all of us get paid because we provide some type of value to the marketplace. So stay with me here. So cause and effect, you provide value, and in return, you get money. You provide more value, you get more money. So when you start to look at the income that people make, which that income is what's needed in order to go out here and start to create some wealth and things of that nature, right? But then you start to think about it, it's like, well, why do some people get paid minimum wage and some people make $10,000 an hour? It's because the cause, right, or the value that they bring to the marketplace is exponentially higher than the individuals who are making minimum wage. So that's why your doctor or your brain surgeon is making, 10, 20, 30 grand, per hour versus your individual who's making minimum wage is making 10, $15 an hour, because it's a cause and effect. So the individuals who are making money is that because they're providing more value to the marketplace. So what does that mean? You're like, Perry, okay, cool. So what are you trying to tell us here? What I'm trying to tell you here is that you have the infinite potential to make all the money that you could dream of. Stay with me here. When you really start to tap into what the author calls your human life value, and I was having this conversation with one of my clients the other day. When you really start to tap into your human life value, right? Your human life value is equated to, the value that you as your individual self, the value that you bring to the marketplace based upon your expertise, space based upon your passions, based upon what, the value that you bring. When you really start to lean into that and you start to understand that you are uniquely you, as my mentor says, you are uniquely you, and that value that you bring to the marketplace is something that can generate money. Well, then you have unlimited potential to make money. And so many times we put a cap on how much money that we can make. So let's unpack this. But Perry, when you say bring value to the marketplace, what do you mean? It's simply this: being a solution to a problem. If you take a step back and look at every situation that is happening throughout the course of the day, right? And look at, just take a step back and look at the person at the, working at the Starbucks. Look at the person working at the gym. Look at the person working at the bank. Look at what you're doing wherever you're working, right? When you start to unpack it and just say, okay, that person is being paid. Why are they being paid? They're actually being paid to be a solution to a problem. I was thinking about this the other day. I was at the I was at the gym and I was putting this theory to test, right? And I was in a hot tub and I was watching the lifeguards, and I know they're getting paid hourly to walk around and to make sure that nobody drowns, right? And I said, well, what is the problem they're solving? Now, the problem they're solving is that the gym is required to have somebody there to make sure that the members stay safe while they're in the pool area. So the gym then says, hey, we have a problem. Then that individual, the lifeguard, at some point in time said, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase my human life value. I'm going to learn how to become a lifeguard and take the test so that I can be the solution to this problem, because there are multiple gyms and beaches and whatnot who need my services. So they increase their human life value by educating themselves. In this case, educating themselves, getting certified as a lifeguard. And now they are the solution to a problem that gyms have, that beaches have, that resorts have. So they can take that human life value and go anywhere in the world, right? And anyone who needs a lifeguard, or they have the problem of, hey, we need somebody to protect our members while they are swimming, right? They now became a solution to that problem. So now they receive money. Y'all starting to connect the dots on this? Look at every situation. Every situation. No, the teller at the bank is a solution to a problem, right? So when you start to think about this, the way that you start to move closer to becoming a millionaire is by increasing your human life value. And you've all known this. We've all known this. We've seen it, right? This is why people go to college. Most people go to college to increase their human life value. Hey, I'm going to go to college to learn how to do this thing. I'm going to go to college and I'm going to learn how to be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer. What are they doing? They are increasing their human life value so that they can then take that skill set, right? Take that skill set, add value to the marketplace, and receive compensation. That's the cause and effect, right? So the effect is, right? The effect is they got money, but the cause is they provided value to the marketplace. So when you start to think about that, okay, we all have the potential to make really good money. And that is the first thing that we have to get our head wrapped around, is that we have the potential to make infinite amounts of money. Let that sink in. You, uniquely you, have the potential to make an infinite amount of money. Okay? Because really, it's just an exchange of value. You provide a value, a solution to a problem, and in return, you receive compensation. Okay. Now, when you receive that compensation, what you do with it then determines on, then that kind of determines now on how you now become a millionaire or you create wealth. Now that you've created that income, just creating good income doesn't equate to creating wealth. But that's the first step to it. Okay. But now, if you start to create income, now you can start to be like, okay, I'm creating income. Now, how do I now increase my human life value? Right? How do I now educate myself? How do I now invest in myself and learn what to do with these dollars so that I can become a millionaire? Right? And becoming a millionaire, as we said earlier, is not about, right. Well, here's the deal. Let's just call it what it is, keeping it 100. Some people want to become millionaires for 100% selfish reasons, right? And that is their prerogative. But when you start to get your head wrapped around that you want to become a millionaire because you want to become a good steward of money and you want to teach others to become a good steward of money so that you can be in a position to help individuals who may not be able to help themselves, well, then now that's a different kind of millionaire. That's a different kind of wealth that you're kind of trying to create, right? And that's where we like to lean into. This is what we teach in our 5-day financial boot camp. We teach these strategies, right? We teach our framework, our wealthy framework, where we show you exactly how to go from zero, you know what I'm saying, to a million. This exact framework that I've used, the exact framework I used to become a millionaire, not once but twice. But the exact framework also too that we teach our clients and teach our other participants coming through our courses and things of that nature. But more importantly, we really dive into that mindset piece, that belief system, because in order for you to become a millionaire, the first step is you have to believe you deserve to be a millionaire. And when you believe you deserve to be a millionaire, that deserving to be a millionaire, that deserving to be to create wealth is now, you know what I'm saying? That comes from, hey, if I'm in this position, how will I be able to help others? That's the game changer, y'all. That is the game changer. So one of the things that I've learned from every millionaire and multimillionaire that I've met, and I'm fortunate enough to say that I have a lot of them that I know just by the nature of my business. I've helped clients become millionaires. I have friends who are millionaires and multimillionaires. I have associates. I can pick up my phone right now and call and speak to these individuals, right? And what I found to be consistent with all of them is if I were to ask any one of them, hey, what is the best investment I can make today? Right? I got 100 bucks. I got 1,000 bucks. I got 10,000. I got 100,000. I got $1,000,000. What is the best investment I can make today? 100% of them would say invest in yourself, Perry. 100% of them. And that's the same thing I'm going to tell you. So, this is again part of this millionaire mindset shift. In order to become a millionaire, you have to start to think like a millionaire. And millionaires become millionaires not because they like, oh man, I sure know how to pick a stock trade, or oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? I sure know how to watch these charts, or oh man, you know what I'm saying, like I am gifted at catching this lick over here on this real estate transaction, or no, their first investment is in themselves because you are the absolute most important asset to invest in. You have unlimited potential. You have the opportunity to make infinite amounts of income, right? But you first have to nurture that. You are, right? You are the soil in which the wealth seed grows, but you have to nurture that. You have to get the right amount of rain. You have to get the right amount of sunlight. You know what I'm saying? You have to be like you. This is where the money seed grows from. The money tree grows from you, right? So, in order for you to become a millionaire, you have to first start to think like a millionaire. And every millionaire I know invests in education. And I'm not talking about college education, right? I'm not saying anything again. I'm not saying anything against college education. I just quite frankly don't. I know a bunch of multimillionaires who either never attended college or dropped out of college, right? And I know some millionaires who went to college, neither here nor there, but they invest in education. They invest in growing their mindset. They invest in their skill set. They invest in learning how to manage money and how to create wealth. That's something they all invest in. They all invest in mentorship. They all invest in masterminds. They invest in books. I don't know a multimillionaire who is not an avid reader personally, right? I don't know one because they are always looking to get the edge. They are always looking to identify the cheat code. So let me ask you this question. Do you deserve to be a millionaire if you're not studying on how to become a millionaire? Like, this is something you have to study, right? Anything, so If you want to be a lawyer, what do you have to do? You have to study on how to become a lawyer. And then you have to, go to college, and then you have to take the bar exam. You need to study for the bar exam, right? When I became a stockbroker, right? I went from having zero financial literacy to becoming a stockbroker for one of the largest wealth management firms in the world. At that point in time, it was the largest wealth management firm in the world, managed $3.2 trillion. And I went from zero financial literacy to being part of the wealth management team and advising clients on how to invest their dollars. And what did I have to do? I invested a ton of time, energy, and money into learning how to become, you know, an investment advisor, and how to become a stockbroker, right? And I had to learn this from scratch, and it was a totally foreign language. But guess what I did? I locked in and I learned it. Ask yourself this question. If you're not currently a millionaire today, have you studied on how to become one? Because where you put your time, energy, and money is where you're going to is where you're going to see your growth and your evolution, right? Period, point blank. If you put your time, energy, and money into playing video games, you're going to become one hell of a video game player. I know a lot of adults who are monsters on video games because that's where they spend their time, energy, and money. They spend time playing the game, the energy, they go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? A lot of energy playing the game, and they go buy the games and travel, right? So that's what they became good at. Anything that you want to become good at is going to require the investment of time, energy, and money. Okay. If that's making sense to you all, you know what I'm saying? Comment on here. I'm gonna pause for a second, see if there's any questions out there I can answer for folks. Tap in, people, if you got any questions or anything. But if this is resonating with you, just comment time, energy, and money. Let me see if we got anything out there. And I'm gonna stay on here for probably another, 10 minutes or so. See if there's any questions in here. Happy to answer any questions that y'all may have. Love this. Comment time, energy, and money if you're watching this. Just know that you guys are tapped in. Awesome. 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 Where you put your thank you, thank you. Where you put your time, energy, and money is where you're going to see growth. If your finances aren't where they need to be, have you invested the time, energy, and money in learning how to grow your finances? If your relationship isn't where you want it to be, have you invested time, energy, and money into it? If your fitness is not where it should be, have you invested time, energy, and money into it? Right? You want to see growth in these areas, you first have to keep get in your mind that you're going to have to make the investment, right? So again, as we tap into this, overcoming these financial limiting beliefs around, what's stopping you from becoming a millionaire. The only thing stopping you from becoming a millionaire is you, right? It's not the tax code that's stopping you from becoming a millionaire. It's not the political issues that's stopping you from becoming a millionaire, right? It's not your parents or your background that's stopping you from becoming a millionaire, right? I didn't come from millionaire clients. I came from hardworking clients. I came from hardworking parents. I'm sorry, I didn't come from millionaire parents, right? I came from a hard working family that taught me character and integrity, work your ass off, do what you say you're going to do, show up on time, put in the work, right? Those are the things that I learned, right? But I decided very early on, let me share this with you. I share this with children a lot, and I'm going to share it with all the adults as well. I realized when I moved, from where I grew up and moving to a different city, and I was rubbing elbows with all these individuals who had this, these was seemingly a large amounts of wealth and money and income and things of that nature. I started having conversations with them, and I said to myself, nobody is actually smarter than me. Right. And I don't say that to be arrogant. I'm not saying I'm a genius by any means. Right. But I said to myself, nobody is smarter than me. They just know something that I don't know. They've been exposed to something that I have not been exposed to because I have the capacity to learn. Now, all of us learn different. All of us are different types of learners, right? I see that in my family all day. I got one daughter who's been, identified as gifted. And I got another daughter, what I'm saying, who's been diagnosed as ADHD. And they are both geniuses in their own right. And they learn very differently. And they just have to kind of learn, figure out, okay, this is the best way that I learn. And we had to figure that out as well. Like, hey, this is the best way to teach these lessons because they just learn differently. But we all have the capacity to learn. So if we all have the capacity to learn, the only thing that's stopping us from having, the successes that we see others have is I haven't been exposed to it and I haven't learned it. So if I can get exposed to it, if I can learn it, then all I have to do is implement it and I can have the same result. Does that make sense? And I know that sounds very simplistic, right? I know that sounds very simplistic. And the results, don't get me wrong, the results are going to be different, right? Because somebody coming from a different background with more access to capital, like, so you might not be a multi-millionaire because maybe they received, a couple $1 million from the parents when they died in the form of life insurance or received some land or some property, right? But you can still get exposed to how they're managing their dollars and still create your own personal wealth. So again, I'm not real big on, oh, let me compare myself to the next person, right? Because we're all unique. We all have different goals. We all have different gifts. But what I do know for sure and for certain with 100% confidence is that we all have the ability to learn, right? If someone is doing something, if you're looking to get something accomplished, one of the fastest ways to get there, we call this condensing time frames, is to find somebody who's already done it and be like, hey, how did you do this thing? And if you can't find them and physically touch them, then go read the books and read the stories about the people who did it. But ideally, you want to find someone who actually did it so you can touch them. So if you want to become a millionaire, one of the fastest ways to get there is to go find a millionaire and say, how did you become a millionaire? And then take some of those lessons from them and see how you can apply that to your life. Because here's the deal. It's not about, being smarter. It's about having access to information, being intentional about learning, and implementing and acting on the information that you received. So as we kind of finish this segment up, y'all, the only thing stopping you from becoming a millionaire is literally you. And the one advantage that you have that can help you become a millionaire is you. You are the millionaire seed. You can make this thing happen. It's coming down to you, ladies and gentlemen. Like, never forget that piece. Okay, you are a millionaire. Like, if you rocking with this, type in "I'm a millionaire" in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Just type in, comment "I'm a millionaire." You know what I'm saying? Or just type in "millionaire." You are the millionaire, right? And you deserve to be a millionaire. And if you question whether or not you deserve to be a millionaire, just simply ask yourself, if I were a millionaire today, and being a millionaire equating to having, being financially independent, having time freedom, right? What would you do with that time? Would you spend more time with your children? Would you spend more time with your spouse? Would you spend more time with your friends? How would you impact your community? Would you volunteer more? Would you be more active in your church? Right? How many people would you teach? How many people would you put on the game that you learn? Right? That's what I'm most excited about. When I figure some things out, what excites me the most is like, I can't wait to share this with somebody else, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I get excited about. Like, man, I can't wait to share this information with somebody. I just learned this cheat code over here. Man, hey man, hey, this is what we're doing. Boom, boom, boom. Yep, right. And they're like, oh, right. That's what excites me. And that's why I deserve to become a multimillionaire, because it's not about me becoming a millionaire so I can just pound my chest and be like, oh, I'm the man. I'm a millionaire. No, I deserve to become a multimillionaire because I'm going to help other individuals become millionaires as well. And that, y'all, is how you become a millionaire. And that is where you first have to start to change your beliefs about money. Becoming a millionaire is not about being selfish. It's not about being greedy. It's not about taking advantage of people. It starts first off with you deciding that, hey, my human life value. Hey, um, I am going to be a solution to a problem in the marketplace. And when I do that, I'm going to be compensated for that solution. And when I'm compensated for that solution, I'm going to invest those dollars in learning and into learning how to become a millionaire who can then go out there and help other people do what I do. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with me today. We'll see y'all here next week. Um, Also, too, I'll be remiss if I didn't mention to you our next 5-day financial boot camp is coming up here November 11th. Tap in. I'm gonna post this in the comments now. If you want to grab that link and rock with us. Oh man, the transformations that we had out of our last boot camp have just been mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. So let me throw this into the comment section now where y'all can grab it. Come rock with us in our 5-day financial boot camp. We have two ways for you to rock with us. You can come in general admission bucks. You can come in VIP. The VIP is 297 bucks. Again, we said this earlier. In order for you to become a millionaire, in order for you to just anything in life, not just become a millionaire, in order for you to improve your finances, your relationships, your fitness, the whole nine, you're going to have to invest time, energy, and money. So what we've done is created a 5-day boot camp where for a low investment of 97 bucks, and a small time commitment of 5 hours throughout the course of the week, we are going to give you our exact blueprint, our wealthy system. And it's called wealthy because those are the steps within the system where we're going to show you exactly my wealthy system where you can start to position yourself to create financial freedom, financial independence, and go down the path and go in the direction to become a millionaire. And if you're already a millionaire, on how to become, you know what I'm saying, a multi-millionaire. And what's lovely about it, we're going to do it all together. So make sure you go rock with us. Sign up for that today. Again, we get started on this on November the 11th, this particular session. And y'all, you got it. Remember, you are the millionaire seed. You are a millionaire. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all later. Peace.